Hi everyone, welcome to The Golden Difference. I'm Elizabeth.
I'm your boy Dan.
How's everybody doing out there in this beautiful weather?
It is amazing weather today. I love it. And Super Tuesday.
Super Tuesday. Guys, go out and vote. We're doing our series a little bit early today so that we can remind you that polls are open till 7 today. Your voice matters.
100%. There's 14 states. That's why they're calling it Super Tuesday. Texas is definitely one of those states. In Texas, a fun fact is if you're in line at 7 o'clock, as long as you are already in line waiting, Texas will allow you to vote. So that is an amazing thing about Texas. And honestly, guys, you want one of these cool, amazing stickers.
I love them. El Paso Strong.
It is awesome. Honestly, it's just doing your part. You know what I mean? It's such a major, part of our entire nation. I love it.
Let's go out and vote.
Vote early and vote often.
I don't think you can do that. But so today's shout out goes to my buddy Elizabeth Elizondo.
Boom.
I got to bring that in so I can show you. But
That's awesome.
Home Sweet Home. Golden Real Estate.
We love it. I love that. I think
Elizabeth
really,
Elizondo's cool. With guaranteed rate. Rates are super low right now, guys.
Guys, seriously, like if you've been on the fence thinking about, well, should I buy a house? Or the rate? Oh my! Like literally, yes. The rates. One of the agents was just saying their clients locked in at 2.75.
They locked in
with a buy down, and so I mean that is unbelievable. Another one of our clients was at 2.8. I mean, like it is like
crazy.
If you
Free
are
money.
on the fence right now, those rates are unbelievable. You definitely want to get in on.
Call Elizabeth Elizondo.
She will definitely help you. She's awesome.
So this is episode 12.
We are motoring along.
Those of you guys that remembered last episode, we were doing mentorship, and we were going to continue this week.
Yeah, I mean, I think our last episode about mentorship was awesome. We got to hear about some of your mentors, which was great.
And we're going to hear about
who shaped our beautiful Elizabeth over here.
We're going to hear who shaped this guy right here.
Beautiful. Thank you. Many things.
Do you want to start out that way? Do you want to tell us how you start?
Definitely. We'll talk about like some of the people that truly did shape my life, and then we'll get into. Today we want to talk about how to be a good mentor for people. So obviously when you look back, I think about I've been super blessed. I grew up in a small town. The great part about growing up in a small town like Socorro, New Mexico, is that, you end up actually with really some amazing people that show you how to work, people that show you how to act, and different things like that. So I think back, originally, it's your parents, like how you said, definitely are your original mentors. And then I think like after that, there's definitely someone that has stood out to me, and his name is Corky Herkenoff. And Corky was unbelievable. I mean, like I
like that name.
I love him, honestly. He's one of the most amazing people. Huge farmer there in Socorro, has his farm at Indian Hills, and he's honestly like an absolutely amazing guy. And I just truly, just taught me, he was just like the ultimate like guy's guy, you know what I mean? He was amazing, just absolutely unbelievable man. I love that guy so much. My cousin Art Clonch, he is absolutely amazing. He works in movies, but he was the one that just showed me that there's so many levels to hard work, and that where you thought you were working out hard was not even getting started with him. And he is unbelievable. I mean, like, just going to work with him before he was even in the movies business, working with him in Colorado, bucking hay every day and being a farmer, and just was really like one of those guys that just truly showed me how hard a work that you should really be doing every day. And I love him so much. And then Don Tripp, is one of those guys that, you know, he made himself from nothing to being absolutely so successful. You know, he's unbelievable. He's a politician. He's a tremendous business owner, owns a jewelry manufacturing company.
I got to meet him, and a very humble man.
Oh my God,
but a strong giant.
Yes.
I feel that's the best way to describe him.
He makes everyone feel so genuine around him. You know, he's just one of those guys that, you know, he makes you feel like you're the most important person at that time. And that, you know, like, I just, you know, I got to talk to him recently when my little sister got married. And one of the things he told me, you know, the secret to his success is he just genuinely likes people. And, you know, there's people like him, you know, like Gus Martell, Dr. Martell, that, you know, that's kind of one of those underlying things that, you know, and I've really been working on it. You've seen, like, you know, I'm not like, I don't necessarily love people. That's not really my thing, but I've really pushed myself recently, like after talking to Don and, you know, watching Gus when we were traveling overseas, is just, you know, just striking up conversations with people, being friendly, being, you know,
we're
giving
walking
people
down
a
the airport like passage or hallway, and he's like, "Hi, how's it going? What you doing?" I was like,
I am really trying to push myself out of my comfort zone. It's something I really am legitimately trying to work on right now. And honestly, I mean, Don has taught me so much. He's been so unbelievable to my family, and you know, I've learned so much from him, and he's been my like just one of those true mentors that have just been absolutely unbelievable. And you know, kind of the last person that I put into my category, you know, there's so many people that have made such a big part of my life, but you know, Sandra Herkenoff and Ben Haynes. Honestly, Ben he's one of those guys that when I decided I wanted to be into banking, and he literally grabbed me by the hand and helped me make moves and helped me to meet the right people and do the right things and be, you know, and honestly, my success in banking, I contribute 100% to Ben Haynes. He legitimately, you know, helped me navigate corporate America and was just, you know, absolutely, I mean, he's just absolutely unbelievable. The fact that he was willing to, you know,
for mentors, or if you want to be a mentor, to introduce you to people.
Yeah, that's a huge part. Yeah. I really think so.
And I think he introduced you to the right people.
Yeah. Literally, I just, you know what I mean? Like, all of these guys, you know, the one thing that I would say they all have in common is that their genuine willingness to help. You know, like to sit there and you know, take someone like myself that, you know, came from very modest, you know, beginnings and you know, literally grab you by the hand and sit there and say, look, you know, to be a man, to be this, to be what you want to be, you know, this is how you get there. My grandfather was super hardcore in that fashion. You know, my grandparents on my mother's side were super hard workers, you know, and they, you know, tried to show that, you know, both my parents.
They made a gentleman.
Yeah. You know, my mom is, everyone laughs at me, you know, still, like, I'll say, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, you know, thank you, you know, and even people my own age, and they're like, you don't have to say yes, ma'am, you know, or yes, sir. I'm like, yeah, I do. My mom will forever keep me in line with that and everything. And, you know, my dad worked his ass off to try to provide for us as a family, and, you know, was actually where I think I got that entrepreneurial spirit, is watching, you know, that so many hours that he put into it, you know, to be, you know, what he could. And so I just think, like, so many people gave to me that, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like it's my turn to give back. And, you know, that's why Chief Heart Officer.
It's important
I agree.
to give back, especially if we feel that they've done this for us.
Yeah.
And I'm super grateful to everybody that touched his life, because they have made a really, really good man.
I appreciate that. So moving on. So let's get back into being mentors. Is how to be a good mentor. You know, I really, you know, last time we talked about kind of being the mentee, and you know, we, you know, kind of went down that path. But being a good mentor is super important. You know, a lot of times, not all amazing, successful people are good mentors. You know, they don't all have that genuine spirit of wanting to give back, of wanting to help. You know, being a good mentor is having, you know, an abundance mindset and not having that scarcity mindset where, you know, you feel like, well, if I teach them, then, oh my gosh, they're going to be my competition. Well, a good mentor is like, I got to get this next group of people to be their best, so that I can push myself to the next level of being my best. And, you know, that's a thing that I've kind of felt, you know, as I've got to help like a lot of the agents at Golden, is that as I'm talking to them and as I'm helping them to kind of navigate their own thing, it makes me reflect on my own self. And we've had some really frank conversations, you know, where there's some things like I'm not personally doing in my own business that I know is the right thing, that I'm just not accomplishing that. And I don't think you get that realization or that self-awareness if you're not helping other people to understand.
But it's good because it brings you to be accountable to each other. So you're not only mentoring the mentoree, but
leading by example. You know what I mean?
And so it goes both ways. And I think it's important that what you're dishing out or what you're telling, you practice it.
Yeah, you're taking your own medicine, you know, in a way. And that's one of the big things, I think, like, I truly believe leading by example is the key. And so who am I to sit there and tell you to do something if I'm not willing to take that own medicine of myself and do that myself?
We tell our agents that we need to be involved and we need to know what's going on in the community, to know what's going on in our own sphere of real estate or anything that we're in, but we can't do that unless we take our actions. And I mean, he's government affairs chairman, and I'm on the MLS board of directors, and it feels good, and we're able to instill this or tell our people to go out there and do the same thing, but only because we've done it or that we do it.
I mean, we're willing to, you know, shovel our own horse shit, you know, kind of thing. That's, you know what I mean? Like, literally, you know, that's what it comes down to. I think in being a good mentor, establishing expectations and ground rules for being the mentor and also for the mentee, you know, and that's something like, you know, I'm kind of a little harsh about whenever I'm, you know, talking to a new agent and stuff like that, is I sit there and I tell them, look, I will do anything for you. I'll help you. I want you to be successful, but don't waste my time. Like, you know, if I feel like you're just kind of going through the motions, or you're not like actively wanting to pursue and get better, that's where I'm kind of like, you know, I don't have time for that.
That's fair to do.
So
if
I
you're
think
gonna
establishing,
take your time, if you're going to take your time out to do it, that's the least that
because as a mentor, you're taking time away from your business, you're taking time away from your family, your loved ones, and other things that you could be doing to propel yourself forward. And so setting those ground rules, those expectations at the forefront are so, you know, kind of important. I think the other thing too is you want to do kind of a self-assessment as a mentor. You want to assess yourself. You want to sit there and think about, where am I weak at? Where am I not doing my best at? Because again, you don't want to sit there and tell people this is how you do it, and you're not willing to do it yourself. And so I think kind of like not having that, you know, that self-assessment, that self-awareness of this is what you need to do and this is how you need to get there. So I think, to me, that's one of those things that you definitely want to, you know, kind of be very self-aware about. And then also I'm thinking too is, you know, as you do the self-awareness is, you know, maybe set some of those goals, you know, like you want to have mutual goals. Like, what are you going to get from me? What am I going to get from, you know, giving you my mentorship? And like, let's set some goals. And
so if you're at that stage where you're setting the goals, then I think it's important that you maintain a schedule to say, this is what we're going to do today. This is what we're going to do tomorrow. You know, just set a schedule where you both respect each other's times.
And sometimes too, like, you know, you may only meet like some really amazing mentors. You know, I didn't get to meet those guys every single day. Like I got to meet with them maybe once a month, once, you know, every couple months, once, you know, but the meetings that you have with them, you know, like getting to see Don Tripp the other day and getting to spend like literally 5 minutes of, but like quality, super high intensity 5 minutes. I took so much away from that meeting, like where I'm just like, okay, boom, I got to go do this, you know? And I think that's part of me trying to be a good mentee, but I think that's also him as a mentor is he's so busy. He's got so many things going on. Having the privilege of having 5 minutes with him so that he could, you know, give me some guidance.
Well, I love the fact that you took it to action like this because
yeah.
I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's
like, such a difference. It's literally such a difference. Like she's just kind of like, okay,
right. Who is this guy? But that's good. Yeah. I you know, we talk about mentorship and we talk about mentors, and then do we really practice what they tell us to do? Well, this guy did. He put it into action. And
immediately. And that's just respect for your mentor. You know, that's having the respect for someone that, you know, he was willing to give me those 5 minutes, and I just respect him so much that, you know, let's move. You know, I just felt like let's go full force, full action with that, and to be good. Yeah. So I think, like, you know, getting into the right kind of contact schedule, you know, that's something that's really good as well. You know, like, hey, let's talk once a month, let's talk once a week, let's whatever you and your particular mentor, you know, are willing to set aside those times. I mean, so you set aside those times, but it's also to be accountable for each other. So accountability. Yeah. I mean, accountability is huge. I think so as well. I think also too, being a quality mentor is, you know, you want to make sure you take time, like put your phones away, turn off your computer when you have those meetings with them, and really listen, like really truly be engaged with that person. And, you know, I think a lot of times like, oh, we're listening, but are we? Because we're sending this text and this email and, oh, look, this popped up on my computer, and like, you know, we're doing 1,000 things and we're hearing them. Yeah. But we're not really focused on them or listening to them. And I think, you know, like a lot of times you'll see me, I'll flip my phone over face down. Like if I'm sitting with you, I want to focus on you. I don't want to focus on, you know, the other people around or other things that are going on. That's just a great practice, period. Yeah. Whether it's with your mentee or mentor or the person or your family or the person you love, is to have respect. These phones and these computers constant dinging. Yeah, we're not spending that quality time that we need to. You know, there's times where I'm on the phone on Facebook and he's like, "Have you called your mom? Have you talked to your sister, your brother?" We need to set aside. I know I got a little off topic. No, but I agree with you. I agree with you. If we're gonna listen, then we need to do it right. I think and this is like the perfect thing. I've always respected, appreciated Elizabeth, like, you know, how she is with people, how she interacts with people, the care that she loves her agents, and how she's always, you know, puts them as a priority. And I think that that's what makes her such an amazing people, why people are gravitate to her, like you're drawn to her, is because, you know, whenever she's dialed in on you and whenever she's like really trying to help you, like, you feel like no one else in the world is there. You know, I mean, you feel like, you know, there's such a... drawn to you like this. Like this. Oh. But I mean, honestly, you know what I mean? It really is one of those things where you're just super drawn in, you're super dialed in. And I think that that's, you know, really a big thing. You know, I think a lot of times too, as mentors, you have to be careful. Like, we're not trying to, like, you know, set what the mentee's expectation is, you know. And I think a big thing is like asking them, hey, what do you want to accomplish? So if you want me to be your mentor, write down for me, tell me in writing, like, tell me what is it that you want to get out of this? I like to have that because then I'm a notes person. You know, that's just how I learn. That's how I do things. I like writing it down. I like having it so I can go back and sit there and be like, okay, so some of the things that, you know, Elizabeth wants to get out of this, is she wants to get this. Okay, great. So before I meet with Elizabeth again, I would sit there and say, okay, I know that she wants to, accomplish these items. Okay, let me make sure whenever I'm guiding her this week that, we talk about some things specific to the items. And that list could change over time, like as as you're longer and they get better, their goals. And that may be something like a year from now, 6 months from now, depending on how quickly the person's taking into action, that you may sit there and say, hey, you know what, let's focus on this, or what are your new goals? Like you've accomplished a lot of these things. Yeah. What do you want to head next,
What do you think about, like, when you're talking to your mentor, if you talk about specific long range goals, do you believe in the long range, or do you think you should stick to the short and narrow? Or
so I like that. I mean, I think a lot of times, like, okay, you do want to have some of those long term goals. Like I always have, like, here's some things I want to accomplish. Here's some things that I'm trying to do. But one of the best books that I've ever listened to and read, and just continue to go back over, is taking your 1 year and breaking it up into 4 sections. You know what I mean? So basically, or actually 3 sections. So every 12 weeks is a new year. So that's something for me that I really like, because typically we overjudge what we can accomplish in a year, 5 years, 10 years, and we way underjudge what we can accomplish in one, like a month, 2 months, whatever, like that. And so we're really like, we're never sitting there like reassessing. And so by breaking your year up into 12-week increments, well, awesome. Now I have multiple new years and multiple goals that I can sit there and say, okay, well, I accomplished this, in this first 12 weeks, but hey, I need to work on this next thing in the next 12 weeks. And so you're just constantly working on that. And so, you have 4 12-week increments throughout the year that you're sitting there saying, okay, now I need to work on this. Okay, now I need to work on this. And so you're just continually like honing down, getting tighter, getting stronger. And that's something like, even right now, so like fitness is a big thing for me right now. I'm still a fat guy, you know what I mean? But my brother is a freak, you know what I mean? Like, the dude's sending me pictures with his shirt off, you know what I mean? Like, the dude, right? He's freaking amazing. So I know I'm not the mentor of fitness. So I sit there and I went to someone that I know that, is, something. And so immediately he jumped in. Here's what your new workout schedule should be. Here's some different items, like, really fed into me. And so like, I can't not, do something good for him.
That kind of ties back into last week's. So kind of closing up is that you've got to find that person that you look up to, that you aspire to be. 100%. And pick their brain, right?
Yeah.
So basically what you're saying and what I'm saying is that whatever we want to accomplish, we got to go out there and see who's done it.
Yeah.
And then go talk to them.
Yeah.
Right?
100%. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
There's people that have gone through the muck, that have gone through all the hard parts of life to be successful, to be amazing. And, they can steer you from having to go through all the nonsense.
I agree.
The other thing too is that you think about, like, look, the amount of technology that we have, the ability to be able to have conversations with people all over the world. Yeah. And that's, I think, one of the great things is, like, your mentor doesn't have to be someone that you literally are sitting can feel in touch. Yeah. Like my brother is, we sit there. Yeah.
Well, but you also too look at podcasts with people that have achieved something, and then so you can read, you can get onto a podcast, you can get onto...
Everyone learns differently. You know what I mean? Like, Elizabeth is a really good reader. She likes reading. She's good at it. I'm not a strong reader. That's not one of the things I can read, obviously, but you know what I mean? Like, that's not how I absorb, So for me, like a video podcast, I would learn way more on this.
So if you want to learn from Danny, just video him.
Yeah, there's all these different portals now, Zoom and Facebook, and like there's so many different ways that's free.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to come up with an expensive way, but you know, and that's one of the things, like, I am willing to help anyone to achieve their success in whatever I can, whatever you feel that I could be a part of. And I know Elizabeth's the same way.
Talk to us. We're here. If you want to pick our brains, like I say, every series, just send me a private message and say help, or you know, or anything. Just reach out to us. So I'd like to close up with, again, don't forget, guys, rates are super low right now.
Crazy low.
Thank you, Elizabeth Elizondo. Love you.
That was awesome.
Call her if you need a loan.
Remember, you can still vote till 7. You have 3 hours. And that's the reason we started early today. You have 3 more hours to get out there and vote. Get your sticker. You want a sticker.
Be safe, but go vote.
Yeah, be safe, guys. We love you guys. 12 episodes. What? Love you guys. Have a great day.
Bye.